Welcome back to the Presentable Podcast. My name is Eli. We have a special guest today. The homie from high school. We're going to bring it way back. Long Beach Jordan days. I told y'all I'm a Long Beach native. So I brought the homie here, Alex Lowe.
What's up, y'all? What's up? Alex Lowe. Like my boy said, Jordan High School. All 4 years. I graduated 2015. Did some cool things, worked in finance and everything. Now we do like marketing and stuff like that. So yeah, man, I'm here and I'm happy that he allowed me to even come. So we're gonna have a dope time.
Yes, sir. So I'm gonna plug his Instagram right here on the screen. You know what it is. Gonna keep it raw, rugged, and real. Anything you want to shout out that you want to put out there to the world before we get into anything, sir?
Yeah, y'all can follow me on Instagram at Prove 'Em Wrong Kid. After basically every word is an underscore, so prove underscore EM underscore wrong underscore kid and then another underscore.
So let's go back. What's the first one? Why do you feel like most of these pretty women all majoring? From what I asked, like, what do you go to school for? I guarantee you it's always the same shit. I want to be an RN. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a nurse. I want to do cosmetics. I want to do it. Like, they all major in the same shit. Mm-hmm. Why do you feel like they all... I have my answer, but why do you feel like they all major in the same type of thing? I mean, I don't know if men go to school and major in the same things. I feel like we try to figure out what we want to do more, but they just end up doing the same shit. Why do you feel like that is? And it's the pretty women I'm talking about. Like, not just... Why do you feel like those pretty women all kind of go towards the same careers?
Yeah. Well, I think the women who genuinely like that, who genuinely, what I mean by like that is genuinely want to be an RN, who genuinely have a passion for cosmetics and things like that, I think that's fine.
Is it a passion?
No, I'm saying for those who do have a passion, who actually do have a passion. Now, for others who may just choose that major or just choose that profession, I think they're doing it just because it's hot. I think it's just because it's a hot topic and people are following the crowd. But I think there's a small percentage who may have grew up, you know, maybe could have been a little insecure, or they could have been secure and they want to lift up other women's confidence. For them, I think that would be a good path for them. But for the other women who are just following the path, I think they're just doing it because it's hot and it looks good. You know what I'm saying?
That's part of the reason. Can I give you my answer?
Yeah.
You don't feel like it's a cop-out because they feel like they leverage off of it the most because of their looks, which is, for, like I said, a pretty woman, somebody who's really attractive. I'm talking about a 9, 10, damn, she bad, man. She got hella Instagram followers. We know pretty women leverage off of what? Their appearance the most. Mm-hmm. Whether they got a nice body, they got a pretty face, whatever. You do a nail tech, you do cosmetics, it's easy to promote via Instagram. You can do OnlyFans, whatever. You don't feel like that's an easy way out. The RN nurse is a lot of pretty nurse. You know that, right? Like, why is that like a recurring thing? I haven't really seen one ugly girl in that field. Like, why is it that the pretty girls do it? Do you feel like because they leverage off that the most?
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but do you feel like they leverage off of that the most, so they choose that?
So I agree with the OnlyFans, for sure.
Yeah.
All those things. Now, I think it gets very tricky when it comes to the RN field, because with that, I get you. There are a lot of women who are in that field. That's 100% true. But you don't become an RN off your looks. No. You have to go through, you got to get the certain amount of training, pass tests, I'm pretty sure, or get a degree. Or if you don't have to get a degree, you have to get some type of certificate. So you actually do have to put in this type of work to become an RN. Other men could try that, but it just happens to be that more women for sure.
Remember, I asked out a certain demographic of women. I said pretty.
No, well, the pretty women. Like,
right? It's just from when I ask, and I'm not asking an ugly chick.
I'm just saying, but the women who do it, the pretty women who do it, I think.
Work is work. They all got
work is work, and it'd have been different if they got the job because they're pretty. I'm not saying that's not a factor, but they do got to put in the work. But then another thing, I think naturally women are just more naturing. So I think that would be more of a field they would probably want to go into, helping people and stuff like that. The OnlyFans, I completely agree. I think that's straight just, I think it is off looks, and it's like, I don't got to do nothing and I can make $100,000 a month and I don't have to do nothing.
We all know this.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with the RN nurse and stuff, I think I think it's a 50-50 thing. I think, or I think it's different ways you can look at it. With the OnlyFans, I 100% agree. I think that's just straight, just taking advantage of how you.
So it's more like it's situational, or like.
But it's men's fault when it come to OnlyFans, because if you don't buy it, they don't make money.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
We make this happen.
We make it happen.
We make y'all rich.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's like the women. I think the women do. They'll take advantage of their looks and put it on OnlyFans, but at the end of the day, it's the man's fault, because if he doesn't buy it, you're not making money. So it's like, but then it's funny because I always thought about it like, and it's no disrespect to the woman who has the OnlyFans, but it's kind of like she's charging whoever, she's making $100,000 a month. Yeah. But it's somebody else that ain't paid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He didn't pay nothing, but everybody else is paying something. Y'all paying to see. So it's funny though. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that comes with people, dudes being simps too. I think that's another part of it.
That's a whole other conversation. But like you already said, and that's something that most people won't admit. Like it's, I guess you could say, like it's 50-50. It's partially our fault, but they're also putting themselves out there as well. But we help them leverage off of that, which I don't really want to talk about, but you already get where I'm coming from with that. So, is there anything you want to ask me? Anything that you want to add to the podcast? This is me just asking. Yeah. Anything you want to ask? Anything you want to? A topic that's kind of been on your head that you haven't got the chance to really say. Anything that just comes to mind that you feel comfortable?
Yeah, I remember the one, like the Black success part for sure. I think that's very interesting. I was speaking at an event in Bixby Knolls. It was like this Power of Truth event. But long story short, I remember I was on stage and I was comparing the streets, basically gang banging the business. Okay. And I just
how they correlate.
Okay. And I just feel like if you explain it in a certain way to somebody like us or whoever, they would understand it more. You know what I'm saying? So what I was saying was, if business was explained this way, I think it would be more understandable for like a minority, right? Okay. If you looking at the hood and you got just to break it down simple, you got somebody that call the shots in the hood, right? In business, you got a CEO. Right. In the hood, you got your little homie. In business, you got an assistant. In the hood, you got your big homie. In business, you got a supervisor, right? In business, you may have, I'm not going to say the name of no gangs or nothing, but you may have some rivals. In business, you may have T-Mobile or Verizon, right? Or you may, in investing, you may have Morgan Stanley and Merrill Lynch, right? You still got competitors. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, same thing in the streets. When you put in the work, they may not like you, but somebody may respect you if you're reputable, right? Same thing in business. We not buddy with you, but we gonna respect this big company if they doing what they doing. Yeah. Then you look at the streets, you do some weird shit, you may get DP'd, right? In business, how they DP people? Lawsuit. Same thing. Yeah. You get a DP here, that's a lawsuit over here, right? Okay. So I think if you compare it that way, like the CEO, you got the nigga that run the hood, you got the big homie, you got the supervisor, you got your little homie, you got your assistant, right? Right. And then, when you look at that life and you compare the two, it's like, say when you're about to get DP, right? You done did some weird shit. Everybody knows you did some weird shit. You know what I'm saying? So before you get disciplined, they all gonna politic within your hood, right? And what's gonna happen? What do you call that in business? When everybody politicking on what's going on to make a decision, they call that a board. Right. So it's the same thing. Yeah. You get DP'd, you got a board, you got a CEO, you got the. So it's like I feel like if people explain it like that, it would make more sense.
So so I'm asking because I understand what you're coming from, because you're preaching to a choir, somebody who's on both sides. So somebody who comes for that and then how to leverage over into the business aspect, or who does media. So my question is, what are you explaining? I get who you're trying to talk to, but what are you explaining to them? Like what is the concept?
What's the point of that message?
What is the point of that message? So somebody who does understand or somebody who doesn't, what is the actual point of getting that across? Okay, I understand where you come from now. So what does this all mean?
Yeah. I think the point of the message is to understand that there's no excuse to sit in here and say like, I can't do this or I don't have access to this when we do have access to it.
Somebody who comes from the hood, you can't make excuses why you can't go from this to this.
There's no excuses.
That was the comparison.
Yeah, it's even in that situation, it's no excuses because it's like, and I'm not saying everybody has it different, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I try not to complain, and I do, bro.
Yeah.
And there's people that have it worse than me, and then there's people that have it worse than you, and there's somebody that has it worse than that person. Like, and it's no disrespect, but if you look at it like compare somebody that grew up in the hood out here. Now compare somebody that grew up in the hood in Jamaica.
Right.
In stick houses. It's
different.
It's different.
It's different, but it's the same.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just think the point is, to somebody who does not understand it, understand that if you can realize the streets and business at that level are the same, different rules but the same, you'll be able to like believe in yourself more. Like, okay, for sure.
I got a better question. Somebody who comes from that into the business and understands the business, but doesn't know how to make the transition and present themselves as such, because there's a certain way you got to carry yourself once you make the transition. Even if you understand it, how do you become that person without selling out, so to speak? Or like, man, you changed, but it's like you're the same person, but I know I have a certain etiquette about me that's business-like. I still got the hood intact in me, but I know how to carry myself out here in this business, and I know how to.
Yeah.
So some people can do that, like us, but what are the steps, or what are those key points where it's like you got to make this transition so you're presentable as a black person that nobody really wants to talk about. So for us, how do you make yourself look more presentable to?
That's a really good question. So I'll give you two ways I would look at it. One is the physical part, and then the other is actually what you ask and how do you not, sell out and be yourself. So one, I think it's just the same thing. Like you would take that world as you about to go out on a date. What's the first thing you thinking about? I want to smell good. You know what I'm saying? I want to have that cut. Let me have that deodorant on. Right, the presentation. Let me make sure I got my lint roller. Let me make sure my clothes is clean. Let me make sure they iron. Let me make sure the shoes is clean, right? My ears, I don't got ears is clean. My nose is clean. No eye book. So I think in business, you got to take every day you go to work like you're going to a date every day. Okay. That's the mindset you have. That doesn't mean you may be going through something. That don't mean you have money every week or every couple days to get a haircut. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying the mentality, though, if you think of it like that, you will be fine. Make sure, you know what I'm saying? Make sure your stuff is iron. Make sure this, make sure that. It's literally, it's no excuse, especially for us in the hood. When you think about it, black people spend the most money. So for us to sit here and say we can't afford all this, to me, is an excuse. Yeah. When we spend like $1 trillion a year on just consuming shit. You understand what I'm saying? Now the sellout part. So basically, like I said, so I was working at the bowling alley, and then after the bowling alley, I ended up working in a wealth management firm. So they were one of the top wealth management firms in the United States, and then I was on like Long Beach Finance brochure and all that type of stuff. Now, I'll remind you, when I'm going there, I'm nervous as hell, right? And how you were talking about not selling out, I think the whole thing is when you go there, you want to learn, right? Understand that these people are at a high level, and whatever you think you know, and you may be in the hood with the homies, and you may be the one that know everything. When you get over there, you're at the bottom. It's like going from middle school to high school, from high school to college. You in 8th grade, then you go to 9th grade in high school, you're right back at the bottom. After 12th grade in high school, you go to college, you're right back at the bottom. So the main thing is just going there to learn.